Welcome to the myCOMPASS PA mobile app demonstration video on how to submit a LIHEAP preseason application in myCOMPASS PA. This demonstration video shows how a user will submit a LIHEAP preseason application using the mobile app. For the Apply for LIHEAP Preseason card to appear under the Reminders section in the center of the dashboard, the user must have applied for and received LIHEAP payments during the previous energy season. The user taps the Apply for LIHEAP Preseason card to start the application. The first screen lists information that the user will want to have available before beginning the application process. They should have ready information regarding their household income from jobs, child support, and any other sources. They should also have ready their housing and utility expenses. In the yellow outline box, the user will find additional resources to help with their application. The user can tap either the Family Safety or Privacy Policy links for more information about those topics. This user taps Get Started. On the screen that appears, the LIHEAP application will ask the user to verify their demographic information including head of household and gender, race, Latin origin, and date of birth. If they would like to change any of the household information, the user would tap No and apply for LIHEAP. A pop-up would appear informing them that they need to complete the LIHEAP application on the COMPASS website. This user confirms that the information shown is accurate by tapping Yes and then Apply for LIHEAP. The LIHEAP application screen will appear. The screen has 4 sections to complete: household, member details, heating and electricity, and income. At the bottom of the screen, the user will see a Submit button. The sections can be completed in any order, but the Submit button will remain grayed out until all sections are complete. Please note that the user can reset the application by tapping the Start Over link at the bottom of the screen. The user will start by completing the household section. To do so, they'll tap the arrow to the right of Household. The application will pull case information from the user's account. The user should verify that all information is correct and address unanswered questions or incomplete information as the application walks the user step by step through the questions. Items marked with an asterisk, for example, the housing situation and confirm head of household dropdowns, that are not answered or are left blank must be completed. Tapping a dropdown will open a panel containing selections. Depending on the dropdown opened, the panel will show different selections. Please note that a specific description of housing situation field appears on this screen. In this field, the user may enter a description of the current housing situation. The user begins by tapping the Housing Situation dropdown. Selections appear. The user taps Household Member owns home or is buying a home. The user then taps the Continue button at the bottom of the screen. The next household screen asks, is anyone in your household receiving financial assistance for a disability? If the user taps Yes, a drop-down would appear that lists household members. The user would select a household member and would then enter the amount that the household member received. For the demonstration, the user taps No and Continue. The next household screen asks, is anyone in your household currently evading law enforcement? If the user taps Yes, a drop-down would appear that lists household members. The user would select a household member currently evading law enforcement. For the demonstration, the user taps No and Continue. The next household screen prompts the user to verify their residence and mailing addresses. If the mailing address is the same as the residence address, the user can check the Same as Residence box. When the user taps Continue, if the app has suggestions for verifying the address, a pop-up will appear prompting the user to select the correct address. This user taps the checkbox and then taps Continue. The next household screen asks the user to verify their contact information. The user adds their main contact number and then taps Continue. A pop-up appears asking the user to confirm which one of these is your primary mobile phone number. In this case, the user taps the radio button next to the phone number that they entered to list that number as the primary mobile number, and then taps OK. The last household screen allows the user to review their answers. They can tap Edit to return to a section and make changes. This user reviews their answers and taps Confirm and Save. This will bring the user back to the application screen. Every time the user completes a section, a green checkmark will appear next to the newly completed section. The user now moves to the next section, Member Details. If there is more than one individual in the household, the names of the individuals would appear in the Member Details area. The user taps the arrow next to Member Details. The Member Details screen appears. The user will need to tap the arrow next to the household member's name to verify their details. Please note that if the case has more than one member, the user will need to tap each name and complete the mandatory information. The user taps the arrow next to their name. The next member details screen opens. On this screen there are 4 subsections: citizenship status, social security number, veteran status, marital status, and voter registration. The user should verify that the information pulled from their application is correct. For the purposes of this demonstration video, the user will complete the veteran details and voter registration details sections. First, the user will look at veteran details. The user taps the drop-down, and a list of selections will appear. Here the user indicates that they are a non-veteran. They also tap No to indicate that they are not a spouse, widow or widower, parent, or minor child of a United States veteran. Voter registration is completed in much the same way. The user taps the voter registration field to see available options. In this case, the user taps Already Registered. If the user has questions regarding voter registration, they can tap the More Information on Voter Registration link. When they do, a screen appears which provides more information. After reading the available information, they tap the back button, and then tap Confirm and Save to return to the previous screen. The user then taps Continue to return to the Review Members screen. Please note that if there are additional household members, the user will also need to confirm their information as well as their relationships. While on this screen, please also take note that the user can tap the blue Edit button to revisit any information. Having confirmed their information, the user taps Confirm and Save. The application screen appears. The user will complete the heating and electricity section next. They tap the heating and electricity arrow to begin. The primary heating source screen will appear. The user must complete all mandatory questions. Some questions will pull answers from the previous LIHEAP year's application and should be verified. After verifying the information, the user taps Yes to answer the question, Is electricity required to operate your main heating source? A second question appears. The question reads, Should the payment be sent to your electricity provider? No is selected by default. The user taps Yes. They are prompted to provide their electricity provider and account number. When the user taps the electricity provider drop-down, a list of providers appears. The user selects a provider from the list. The user enters their account number and taps Continue. The user will then be asked if they have another source of heating. This user taps No and then taps Continue. The next question asks the user whether they receive a utility allowance check from subsidized or public housing. This user taps No and then taps Continue. The last heating and electricity question asks the user, Are you interested in free weatherization service? The screen also has a yellow outline box that offers information about home insulation and heating system evaluation. The user taps the Get More Information About Free Weatherization link. The weatherization screen opens and provides more weatherization information. After reviewing the information, the user taps the back button. They are returned to the previous screen. Note that tapping either Yes or No will not result in the user having to enter further information. The user taps No and Continue. The Review Application screen opens. The user can review their answers and tap the blue Edit button to make any changes. This user taps Confirm and Save to move to the last section. The last section the user needs to complete is Income. They tap the Income arrow, the Jobs screen appears. The user will see 2 sections. The first is Current Income. Please note that if household members have income on file, that income will appear in the app. The user will be able to edit or remove the information they see. The second section is Add a New Job. The user taps the plus sign next to Add a New Job. The next screen, Add an Income, will show the household member's name. Please note that if more than one household member exists, the app will allow the user to select the household member for which they would like to enter income information. The next fields prompt the user to enter their employer's name, the number of hours the household member works per pay period, their pay frequency, their average income for each pay period, before taxes and deductions, their start date, and the date on which they received their last payment. Having entered the information, the user taps the Add button at the bottom of the screen. The income information the user just entered will appear on the job screen under New Income. If they'd like, they can tap Add a New Job again to enter additional income information. The user can also tap Edit to make changes to the new income entered or tap Remove to delete it. Once the user enters all income from jobs, they'll tap Continue. Next, the user will be asked about other income. The screen will show a list of possible sources and types of income, such as alimony or court-ordered child support. If the user currently has other income on file, that income would appear here and the user would be able to edit or remove it. This user taps the plus sign next to Add an Income. The next screen will show the household member's name. Please note that if more than one household member exists, the app will allow the user to select the household member for which they would like to enter income information. To add other income, the user will select the income type, in this case, workers' compensation. The user then enters the frequency of payment, their average income from each payment before taxes and deductions, and the date they received their last payment. Please note that certain questions might not be required depending on the selected income source type. After completing all required fields, the user taps Add. The user will confirm that the other income information just added is correct. They can tap the Edit button to make changes to the new income entered or tap Remove to delete it. Once all income from other sources is entered, the user taps Continue. After the user adds all sources of income, they need to tap the checkbox that reads, Use this information for my application. This checkbox is required to complete this section of the application. Please note that if there is more than one household member with income either on file or added as part of the application, the user will need to confirm information related to and tap the checkbox for each member. After tapping the checkbox, the user taps Continue. The Review Application screen appears. The user can review their answers and tap Edit to make any changes. This user taps Confirm and Save to submit their application. With the 4 sections completed, the user will be able to tap the Submit button at the bottom of the screen, which they'll do now. The user will be asked to review their application. This user scrolls through the application to review the information. The user could tap Edit next to a given section to make corrections. In this case, after verifying their information, the user taps Confirm and Save. A message will appear asking the user if they are ready to submit the application. They are. The user taps Ready to Submit. Next, the user will see the Submission Options screen. They need to tap the checkbox next to the sentence, I agree to the terms outlined in Rights and Responsibilities. The Rights and Responsibilities link is available for users to tap if they choose. This user taps the link. The Rights and Responsibilities screen appears. After reading the terms, the user taps the back button in the upper left of the screen. The Submission Options screen appears. Again, the user must place a checkmark in the box next to I agree to the terms outlined in Rights and Responsibilities. Next, the user will decide whether they want to e-sign the application. Ultimately, for this demonstration video, the user will choose to e-sign, which the demonstration video will show in a moment. However, first, the user will tap Do Not e-sign to see what happens when they decide not to e-sign. The user taps No. Additional information appears regarding mailing in the application. The screen will inform the user that the Department of Human Services will send a paper copy of the signature page to the mailing address on file. They will also be able to print the signature page from the summary PDF available on their dashboard or on the Compass website after they complete their application. In either instance, the user must sign the application signature page and send it to the County Assistance Office. Again, for the purpose of the demonstration, the user will e-sign the application. They tap Yes. Please note that if there is more than one household member, the user will be able to select in the Household Member e-signing field the household member that is e-signing the application. The user will need to enter the last 4 digits of their Social Security number, which they do now, and tap the e-sign button, which will now be available. The Language Preferences screen appears. This screen will allow the user to select the language from a list of available languages that they would like to use to review the application. This user selects English. They will also be able to select from a list of available languages the language that they most easily understand. Many selections will be available. Again, this user selects English and taps the Next button at the bottom of the screen. The Additional Comments screen appears. The user can choose to add additional comments to the application. This user decides not to add comments, and taps the Submit button at the bottom of the screen. The user will see a message informing them that the application was successfully submitted and that they'll soon be able to view the application on their dashboard. The user can either tap Return to Dashboard or tap Upload Documents to begin uploading documentation that supports the information in their application. Uploading documents is addressed in the demonstration video titled Uploading Documents Using myCOMPASS PA. This user decides to upload supporting documentation later and taps Return to Dashboard. Thank you for watching this myCOMPASS PA mobile app demonstration video. Please note that links to all myCOMPASS PA demonstration videos appear in the video description below. Have a great day!